How Sweden transformed its immigration policies. No more irregular migrants or Islamist influence? Have you ever wondered how a country once known for its open borders has transformed its migration policy? Is Sweden's drastic shift a solution for the immigration crisis or a sign of deeper societal challenges? Welcome to this detailed breakdown of how Sweden has effectively ended what some call the immigration crisis, with particular focus on migrant restrictions and policy changes aimed at combating Islamist extremism, the shift in Sweden's migration policy. For decades, Sweden stood as a symbol of humanitarianism, welcoming refugees and migrants from all corners of the world. However, recent developments mark a paradigm shift in the nation's approach to immigration. Sweden's government has enacted measures to dramatically reduce the inflow of irregular migrants. With net migration turning negative for the first time in 50 years, these policies are already having a lasting impact on the country's demographic trends. Stricter laws have been implemented to ensure that asylum seekers meet only the minimum criteria required under EU law, leading to a dramatic decrease in the number of asylum seekers. By adopting stricter criteria for immigration, Sweden is aiming to ensure that only those who have legitimate grounds for protection remain, while also intensifying efforts to deport those without a legal right to stay. This shift is not just a temporary change, but a long-term realignment of Sweden's migration philosophy, combating the shadow society and labor immigration fraud. One of Sweden's most pressing challenges has been the rise of the so-called shadow society, an underground network where illegal immigrants operate outside the law. This has led to increasing rates of labor exploitation, tax evasion, and criminal activity. The Swedish government has taken a tough stance on this issue, working to dismantle these underground networks while cracking down on labor immigration fraud and abuse. By tightening immigration rules and increasing workplace inspections, Sweden is ensuring that low-skilled labor immigration is severely restricted. The government has also introduced initiatives to improve conditions for highly skilled workers, aiming to balance the labor market while eliminating opportunities for illegal employment. This two-pronged approach has effectively reduced the potential for exploitation, leading to a more transparent and regulated labor market. Stricter asylum laws, aligning with EU minimum standards. Sweden's asylum policies have undergone significant revisions to align more closely with the minimum requirements under European Union law. The country's once liberal stance on asylum has shifted dramatically, with new regulations making it increasingly difficult for migrants to gain permanent residence. This has resulted in a significant decline in the number of asylum seekers, bringing Sweden's immigration levels to the lowest they've been since 1997. The focus is now on ensuring that the individuals who do seek asylum in Sweden have genuine reasons for doing so. The government has prioritized processing asylum applications faster, reducing the backlog of cases while maintaining a humane and efficient process, making it harder for migrants to exploit loopholes in the system. Enhanced deportation and repatriation efforts. Sweden has also ramped up efforts to deport individuals who do not meet the criteria for asylum or residency. The Swedish Migration Agency has been tasked with setting up return centers to facilitate the repatriation process. These centers not only house rejected asylum seekers, but also provide guidance and support to encourage voluntary returns. For those unwilling to leave voluntarily, the Swedish government has adopted stricter internal controls. This includes reinforcing border patrols and working closely with other EU nations to ensure smooth repatriation, resulting in a marked increase in deportations, with a clear focus on reducing the burden on Sweden's social services and resources. Stricter regulations for low-skilled workers and family immigration. One of the most significant changes to Sweden's migration policy is the introduction of stricter conditions for low-skilled labor and family immigration. New policies mandate that immigrants meet higher wage requirements, aimed at preventing the exploitation of low-wage workers and ensuring they can support themselves financially without relying on the welfare system. Family reunification rules have also become more stringent. Immigrants now need to demonstrate that they can provide for their family members before bringing them to Sweden. These measures ensure that family-based immigration does not lead to an increase in social welfare dependency, a major concern among Swedish policymakers. Addressing the Islamist threat, security-driven migration policies. One of the key factors driving Sweden's migration reform has been the growing concern over Islamist extremism. Reports have indicated that a number of radicalized individuals entered Sweden under its previous, more lenient immigration policies. In response, Sweden has tightened security protocols and introduced more rigorous background checks on asylum seekers and migrants. The Swedish government is now focusing on identifying and expelling individuals involved in extremist activities. By collaborating with security agencies in neighboring countries, Sweden is aiming to eliminate any threats posed by foreign actors while maintaining national security. These efforts have been complemented by stricter laws regarding terrorism, making it easier for the government to revoke residence permits of individuals involved in extremist activities. New requirements for Swedish citizenship. In an effort to reinforce the value of Swedish citizenship, the government has introduced more stringent requirements for individuals seeking to become citizens. These include higher standards for language proficiency and an understanding of Swedish society, promoting integration and reducing social tensions. By implementing these requirements, Sweden is aiming to ensure that new citizens are fully capable of participating in and contributing to society. The idea behind these measures is to create a more inclusive but responsible system where citizenship is earned, not simply given. This also sends a message that Sweden values its cultural heritage and expects newcomers to integrate into the fabric of the nation, rather than remaining isolated or contributing to the formation of parallel societies. Integration, a core focus of Sweden's migration reforms. Sweden's focus has shifted from simply accepting migrants to ensuring they successfully integrate into society. The government has launched multiple programs aimed at facilitating integration, with a strong emphasis on language acquisition and vocational training. These programs are designed to help immigrants become self-sufficient, reducing their reliance on social services and encouraging participation in the workforce. Additionally, the government has introduced stricter guidelines for housing and education. Asylum seekers are required to live in government-provided accommodations where they receive an introduction to Swedish society. These measures ensure that migrants are well prepared to contribute to the economy and culture, fostering a sense of community rather than division. The international impact, setting a new standard for migration control. Sweden's migration policies have not only transformed the country internally, but have also sent ripples across Europe. Other nations are observing Sweden's model of migration control and its successes in combating illegal immigration and extremist elements. Sweden has become a case study for nations looking to balance humanitarian obligations with the need for security and societal stability. By setting new precedents in migration control, Sweden is influencing future EU policies on asylum and immigration. The country's approach highlights the importance of international cooperation and adherence to EU laws, while also providing valuable lessons on how to manage the complexities of modern immigration in a rapidly changing world. Looking ahead, the future of Sweden's migration policy. While Sweden has made significant strides in controlling its immigration crisis, the future remains uncertain. The government has laid the groundwork for a sustainable immigration system, but it will require continued effort to ensure its success. Future challenges may arise as global migration trends fluctuate due to political instability, climate change, and economic disparity. However, Sweden's current policies are a clear indication that the country is committed to maintaining strict control over immigration while upholding its international obligations. As Sweden continues to adjust and refine its policies, it will remain a key player in the global conversation surrounding migration, security, and integration. Sweden's radical transformation in its migration policy, with tighter regulations, a focus on security, and an emphasis on integration, Sweden has taken bold steps to end its immigration crisis. If you found this content valuable, be sure to hit the like button and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your feedback helps us create even more relevant and insightful content. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update on the latest global developments and their real-world impacts.